Parshat Va'eira. Hakimoti et briti itam latet lehem et haaretz. I established my covenant with them to give them the land. And I want to focus this week on the word latet. I'm standing at a bus stop in the pouring rain, and the reason for that will be explained at the end. The word latet obviously means to give. And one of the most famous ethical teachers, Musarists, Rabbi Eliyahu Dessler, who actually lived in Britain for several years in the middle of his life, he divided people into givers and takers. The Almighty was obviously the ultimate giver in that he gave without wanting anything in return. And takers, he divided into two categories: those who take and those who receive. Takers were those that he described as people who take things they are given as a right. They expect it. They don't think it's a special favor of any type. They take it and are happy to take it. But those who are receivers have hakarat hatov, have an understanding that it is a privilege to have been given something. They are grateful for receiving it. They don't just take. And there are many examples of Rabbi Dessler's outstanding example of Musa, of this concept of receiving. It was said that he was almost embarrassed to ask his daughter-in-law for a cup of tea in case he was causing her too much work. The other example is when he was always thanking his students if they did him a favor. He was profuse in his thanks when they did him something. And they complained to him and said, Arav, we're doing this because we want to do it. It's a privilege to help you. And he said, you're even taking away from me the ability to say thank you. If I don't say thank you, I'm going to have a debt with the Almighty when the day of reckoning comes. So allow me to say thank you. But perhaps the most famous example is that Rabbi Dessler was once standing at a bus stop in the pouring rain. Pouring rain, bus stop. And one of his students drove by in a van and offered Rabbi Dessler a lift. And Rabbi Dessler knew that the student didn't own the van. He said, I know you're using the van for a purpose. Do you think the owner of the van would give his permission? Has he given you specific permission? And the student said, no, but the owner of the van is a religious man. It would be implicit that I have his approval to let you hop in the van and I can give you a lift. Rabbi Dessler was almost on the verge of getting into the van, but stopped, turned round and went back to stand at the bus stop. Without that specific approval of someone being willing to give, he was too appreciative of the receipt of that kindness to take it for granted. Now that level of ethical behavior is outstanding if you think about it. Who wouldn't hop into a van at the opportunity when it was pouring with rain? But anyway, so I think all of us are beholden to the degree that if we are receivers, that we don't just take, we receive and appreciate what we are given. Shabbat Shalom.